version is coming, we not just support the new phones, we covered legacy phones. So the legacy people, the legacy phones can upgrade the new versions. They can enjoy the new functionality. So they give the case for Mate 9. You can see Mate 9 is 2 years ago they launched the phones. So at that time it's launched together with 5.0, and we upgrade 8.0. They have new functionality available for the Mate 9 consumers. And it's not the stop. We're going on with the whole time. You know, the GPU Turbo is very popular for all the consumers. We upgrade based on the EMUI 8.0. With Hotel, we upgrade the GPU Turbo. So the Mate 9 consumers, they can enjoy more. It's very useful for them. So in some words, from Huawei, we have a dreams. One is the new technology. New technology must be support the new smartphones at the same time the legacy one. In the coming days, we will consist on this trend, on this way. Maybe this year, the new versions will even cover more legacy modules. So this is based on the Android P versions. And today, we just give some of this, not the total. You know, that we already have the plan. We will launch the May 20 in London in October 16. At that time, the whole picture will launch. Today, we just give you some brief introduction, some of this. Maybe this one is the content for the new versions. You know, the Huawei in the smartphone is almost 10 years. But from these years, we really to think about what are long visions from Huawei as a vendor, as a phone manufacturers. You know, the phones, whether it's a high-end, in the middle end, it's a low-end. And from Huawei point of views, we try our best to make the phones enable the human beings' high-quality life. You know, today is digitization is accelerating. Everything is from physical world to the digital, right? So the phone is a very important tool to connect the human beings with the digital world. The phone must be very powerful, right? It's becoming more and more important. But at the same time, the phone must be simple and very good experience for people to use the phone, connecting with the digital world. So whether it's high-end phones, middle-end phones again, and then low-end phones, Huawei try our best to make the phones is a powerful tools to help people at the same time to saving times, to make they are saving more times, return to life, return to their family, and so on. So the first dream for us is to enable high quality life for human beings. The second one is we needed to carefully think about the different consumer segmentations. You know, the high-end phone segmentations is different with middle-end segmentations, and also different with the low-end, right? So we needed to think carefully the different segmentations, and then transfer this thinking to our designs. So in 9.0 new versions, we try to make our designs and software to make the people use the phone very easily, at the same time to very enjoyable, and the most important, to saving their times. They don't need to invest a lot of time in the phones to get the services. We try to shorten the times, saving time for people. They have another thing to do. The third one is in the coming days, there have so many new software technologies coming. AI is no doubt is one of these. But AI doesn't mean everything. We try to understand which pieces of AI technology will making the user experience. And this one will be valuable for us, not total AI. So in 9.0, we do some innovations based on the AI technology. So for the UX designs, again, as I say, must be simple, even very powerful, so many functionality. But the UI must be simple. They don't need people to waste so many time to thinking, to understanding. It's very easily to use. At the same time, in the process of the use, the enjoyable is very important, right? All the apps is running, the GUI, the audio, and all the things must be make the people enjoyable. And the consistency is very important. You know, we change new phones, maybe a new app is coming. We try our best to let consumer to use a very little cost to learning. They can use it very smoothly. So the next video, this video will give a backstory or design the new versions. For next, I will give one by one to introduce some very important functionality and new designs to all of you. The first important thing is simple. Just as I say, the phones may be more and more functionality added on, and the hardware is becoming more and more powerful, and the new application is coming. The current application is becoming so powerful, but the operation must be simple at the same time. You know that from Android phones, the number of setting items is a very big problem. All the Android phones, for example Samsung, even more than 1,000 setting items. So many setting items, it must be very complex, right? So in this new version, we try to slim down and to identify which one can delete, which one can consolidate together to make the people very easily to use. This is a case. You can see before the location access, they have so many items, right? But in new versions, we combine together. Just one settings, they can make these things down. The idea is the complex must be hidden, cannot to directly to the consumers. Another case is wallpaper and also the screen relative settings. In the Huawei 8.0, before we have so many different entrances to do the similar things. They have a different place here and there. In the new versions, we take the similar items together. That means consolidations. You can see here, just one entrance here is home screen and wallpaper. Just one entrance, we can do all the things one time. So this is the idea for us. In the coming days, in the coming versions, we will try on these directions to make the items becoming smaller and smaller and make people very easily to find out and very easily to do the setting. And this is another innovations, maybe some change. You know the clock here is a digital and an analog. Before the change the digital analog, they have items, right? But these new versions, we delete the items. Just the touch here, we can change very easily. You can see here. So with all these ideas, we try our best to make the items becoming smaller and smaller and consolidate. The target is to make the people, users, very easily understanding. Just one entrance, they can do the similar things one time. The second is enjoyable. Enjoyable is not so easy to figure out what's the enjoyable because it's a totally personalized things, right? But from Huawei side, we thinking about and we believe the enjoyable is almost depending on the details. You know, today the phone's hardware is almost the same and the performance is very close. But in the details, we need to more attention. All the details is highly relative with the people experience. So I will give some use cases. Here is the details is start from the call, incoming call and connect call. So another one is audio. Please hear. Okay, you can see this is alarm. The back music is almost coming from the nature. Just like the birds wake up in the mornings, is very suitable for people that wake up. And this is try our best to simulate the real clock and the real watch, the sounds. So this is all the detailed things. And this one is the third example is haptical. Haptical, to be honest, is very important. You know that every day you touch the phones many times. But you can see here, this is many details here. You know, even the same phones, for example, the Mate 20 will launch in London. Different users, for example, maybe the people is about 50 years old. Maybe people is 30 years old. Maybe young people use the same phones. They have the different perspective for the phones to give the feedback when I last year, right? Maybe old people don't like very fast. The young people like fast. So it must be connection with the people, their sense. You know, the sense means your finger sense, eye sense, and brain sense. The better experience must be personalized. At the same time, it's better coordinate all the sense together. This is our ideas. You can see here so many details we needed to thinking very carefully to the different people, different phones, different scenarios. They have a different feedback from the screen. So this is our idea. We will consist on this way to try our best to make all the people enjoy the haptical. Another case is art style illustration. You know, the illustration before in Huawei versions, we have different styles, totally different. But these new versions, we unified all the styles the same. I think that this same styles for the consumers, they will very familiar with the new apps coming, right? So the familiar means trust. They know the application is coming from the systems. So this is another case for the very detailed things. And for the by-hand operations, you know, this is relative to the new hardware. You know that today the phone's screen becoming bigger than before, right? At the same time, it's a full display. If the tab is about here, for the human beings, it's very difficult for the right hand to touch the tab above. So we think about that, and from the view of ergonomic, we move the tabs from up to the bottom. So it's very easily for the human being to handle the better right hand. The last one is consistency. Is the same ideas. Consistency means the people, the consumers, just learn once, they can use everywhere, right? Otherwise, it may be a different frame, a different the layout and different designs. It will be very confused the consumers. So this is the case in the new versions. We do a lot of things to make the apps is a consistency. I think this is not only better for the legacy consumers, it's also better for the new ones. So you can see here the same button, added one, added one. So they take alarm and word clock for the consumers. They don't need to understand it for a while. They can immediately understand it. Oh, add-on button is here. So the gesture navigation is another one. Is highly matched with the full display. You know the Android stock, they have 3 virtual key here, right? But this is virtual. If in the full display, they have virtual will be with the space of the screen. We're thinking how to release the whole potential for the full display, give all the APPs, not just occupied by the buttons. So based on this, the second one is in terms of ergonomic views. You can see here, it's very easily back for just one hand. It's very naturally, very close to the people to move with one hand. So this is Huawei's innovation in the Android domains. You know, if we look back, the P10 is one of the first innovations. We have one button, the P10. And then this is another step forward. And from bottom up, we have a home and multitask. And this side is back. So it's very natural to the people's hand, the movement. So above, I'm talking a lot of the UI part is very details and also some GUIs and audios and so on. Actually, below that is basic of the whole software. Just I saw the page, the born fast and stay fast and also GPU Turbo is a detailed technology. To be honest, in the past several years, Huawei invests a lot in the whole stack, from kernel levels, from driver levels, from middleware levels. So all this technology we consolidate and inherited in new versions. So this is internally test. We based on the same hardware P20, the 4 gigabytes RAM, the same hardware with the old version 8.0 and the new versions. There is a totally software control contributions is smaller than before. And also some very quicker app start is Instagram, Amazon, and also the Spotify. So I think this is very important. You know that only based on very powerful and stable basic platforms, you can enable the new features. Application is very good performance. So that's the reason why Huawei invests a lot on that. GPU Turbo is the case. Just as I say, it's very important. 3 things guarantee the experience. One is frame rate. Second one is frame jitter. The third one is a frame drop. You can hear this is a drop, this is a jitter. But with the GPU technology here, it's very stable and almost keep on the high frame rate. You know before the GPU Turbo technology, these 2 things is almost conflict. If you wanted the high performance, the power consumption increase, right? This is a very big headache for the industry. But by GPU turbos, we want both things. The high performance, at the same time, the power consumption declines. So I think this is really amazing. It's an innovation. It's opened a door for the industry. We can do many things to make it possible, just like the Huawei slogan. You can see here is a high free rate. At the same time, is the power for every frame is decline a lot. So I think Huawei will consist on these directions in the futures. Maybe we can reuse the same ideas, not just enable the gaming app, maybe other heavy apps. We can reuse the same idea to make it happen. And in the coming new versions, the GPU, the first launch is in China. We call the GPU will launch in London is a GPU 2.0. The new things is together with the GPU 2.0 is first one is more and more gaming app will suitable, ready for running on this technology. Second one is the touch response delay is a key thing for the players to get a very good experience. So we short the response times. The third one is we design a new models. In the gaming apps, you can setting the different environment. You can setting accelerate. You can setting the network accelerate. You can setting maybe it's uninterrupt and so on. So try our best to make the people playing the games is totally enjoyable. So I believe in the London launch event, we will more exciting things will launch at that time. Personally, I like these very cute functionalities. So many apps in the consumer phones, it's very difficult for them to remember every app's password, right? So we do this functionality to record your password and store in the trust zone in the hardware. At the same time, it encrypt. And when you use this password, the transit is also encrypted. This is like the autofill, but compared with the Google autofill and the iOS autofill, we are different. Google and the iOS autofill is similar. They store the password in the cloud. But Huawei here is stored totally in your phones, locally, and in the trust zone, in the hardware trust zones, and encrypt at the same time. So you can get convenience at the same time is a guaranteed security level. So this is the idea. I like it very much. So I always forgot my password. From this page on, we will talking how to find the new technology, making the user experience. AI is very important. This is just the case. Again, in the London launch event, we will launch more surprising AI-based functionality and maybe some apps. This is just the case. I want to share two things with all of you. The first one is AI is a very big scope. It's so many things. But we needed to identify which cases will be enable the user experience. This is one thing. Second one is AI technology cannot done only by one company. You must connect with the partners. So in the day one, we build AI technology in our software. At the same time, parallel, we build up the platforms in the day one. It's parallel. So you can see here, we cooperate with a partner based in Europe to provide a service like that. And you can understanding the landmarks in the Western Europe. In the coming days, we will find the regional leading partners to provide the services regional in a different place. And the painting is here. It's more than 10 million paintings. So I think this is very amazing. I think in the coming days, more and more innovation ideas will come based on the AI technology. Just as I said, this is our open platforms. It's the same. We launched the first version in China, and in the London event, we will launch the second versions. In Huawei's the AI, the whole stack is like this. We have 3 layers. The first layer is SoC highly relative. We open the NPU and GPU operators directly to the third parties. APP makers can use the operator directly, and they can get a very powerful computing capability. Second layer is above this. We compatible with the Cafe tool and the TensorFlow Lite, and we package all the things technology together and expose some API and SDK. One is a voice API, one is a CV API, one is a face recognition API. So for the third parties, very easily to use the API and use the SDK, they can make their app have the intelligent capability. And this layer is a cloud-based. We build up architectures. It's very easily for the apps to expose their open services. It's like the Google App Action ideas, but we have a different approach for that. So with these three layers, it can fit almost all the third parties' requirements. Maybe for very strong teams, they can use this one, but it's more difficult here. And for the middle one, they can use this very quickly to get AI capability. And this is for all the apps, they can expose their services. And in London, we will launch the new AI platforms. Maybe it's a more powerful capability. For example, here we can identify not just the pictures, understanding the video, understanding the body. Not the emoji is the head, is the whole body. I don't know if you visit the Huawei booth already, right? They have a demo there. It's use this technology. It's a body tracking. And the last but not least here is quite important. You know, for the third parties, they care about how many efforts they will invest to use your capabilities. So we share the concerns with the third parties. We develop a very comprehensive tool suite to enable the third party to use this API and SDK. It's very easy. So at the end of these years, maybe a new apps use this functionality several days, even more than 1 month. Our target is at the end of this year, it must be several hours. They can finish the integrations. So in the back, we have some demos. Will show that. And in order to enable this happen, we build up an open lab. One is based in Beijing, one is based in Düsseldorf. The Huawei all the devices in the environment, and it's free for the third party apply to use the test environment. So Düsseldorf, the lab is open 2 months ago. It's totally open and free to all the third parties. They can apply the test environment to test their app in Huawei phones. They don't need to buy Huawei phones again. They can run their test. Just as I say, the AI is so many things. It must be open. I already mentioned open labs in the Düsseldorf, and also we want to deeply engage in the Europe ecosystems. 2 months ago, the same in the body, we attend the joint camp, the first time of Huawei. We give the open class and training the people how to use the Huawei capability and so on. So I think this is our idea in the future. We will consist on this way to make EMUI as a platform. We open all the capabilities, whether it's technology, whether it's a test environment, to all the third parties. Because our ultimate target is to give the more choice for the consumers, to give their best experience apps. This is our target. So the last part, just as I said, the digitalization is accelerating today. It's becoming more and more fast. And the phone is very important, but at the same time, people invest more and more time on the phone today. I give you the numbers in China. In the WeChat, all the Chinese people every day will use 1.5 hours average in the WeChat. 1.5 hours. It's really a long time. Just WeChat other maybe news, maybe videos together, the people will several hours in the phones every day. You know, the long time to use the phones is really not good for the human health. Maybe their eyes, maybe their fingers, even here, maybe it's damaged. So we try to make the phones powerful. At the same time, we really share the concerns from the consumers. How to make the consumers to manage their times. So from these new versions, we deliver digital well-being functionalities. So for the adults and even for kids, we have the dashboard to give you a very clear information every day, how many times you in the phones, and which app is with your luckiest times. And based on this, we give some configuration items to make you manage your times in the phones, to make you manage your times in the apps. So if the time is finished, the time is up, the phone will be like this. They will wind down. So I think this is an approach. Maybe in the coming days, a new approach will come in to help the people to organize their times, to manage themselves very well. Just as I say, I want both. One is a very powerful tool to connect with digital world. Second one is must be healthy to the people, not waste so many time in the phones. And here is you can see very clearly which app is the heaviest and how many times you unlock your screen. So this is very clear for people to manage their times, to manage themselves, even to manage their kids and so on. So I think this is just the start. Just the start. I think in the coming days, maybe I hope from Huawei side we will thinking consist on this way. From other place, we really like to hear the voice from consumers, from all the third parties, even from all of you. Give us the feedback. I think this is very valuable for people to manage their times, not waste so many time in the phones. So the last one is new versions. Today we are ready for the beta in Europe. And this is the sometimes of the phones is ready for beta in the P series, mid series, on the 10, on the Play, and on the View 10. So in the every official website, Huawei in the different countries, you can log in the website, apply the beta program. Today is ready. So thank you so much for your time to listening to us, to me. You know the first time to talking and to share the more details about the softwares. I believe in coming days, Huawei will love to do that more, and love to talking to all the people face to face, to talking more things about software. Second one is today we just share a few of these. In the coming London event, we will have more surprising functionality we will launch together with the May 20. So thank you again for your time. Thank you.
We'll open it up to a couple of questions. Does anybody have questions they'd like to ask?
Yes, hello. We've seen in the last slide that some devices